Good morning, dear hearts. We are at lesson 74. There is no will but God's. Okay, there is no will but God's. This is an idea that for many people causes a bit of conflict because we also know that we have free will, but ultimately we will accept this idea that the will of God and our will for ourselves are one and the same. The acceptance of today's idea will bring great peace to every mind that accepts it. And it's also in accepting this idea, this thought, that we are going to remember that we are an expression of God. We are an extension of God. Now, back in chapter 9 in the text, the very beginning of it, it says, fear of the will of God is one of the strangest beliefs the human mind has ever made. Not only does that, tie in so greatly to today's lesson, but interesting, it's chapter 9, it's the first section, it's the first line, it's 911. It's where we can go if we ever have any kind of an emergency. We can go to the idea that fearing God's will for us is one of the strangest ideas we have ever made up. This lesson says that without illusions, conflict is impossible. And we've been talking a lot about illusions and grievances over the past several days. And the fact that this idea is wholly true means that there is no illusion and no conflict in it. When we accept that there is no will but God's and it mirrors our own, then that is a complete unraveling of the ego's mind and of whatever the ego tries to get us to believe. Okay, so what about God's will? Okay, what will that do for me? A peaceful day, all peaceful days and nights filled with loving communication. That's God's will for me. No fear thoughts that can come to disturb my peace. That's God's will for me. Abundant joy and laughter every day. That is God's will for me. And all of my interactions with all of my brothers, my sisters, the entire sonship will be serene and loving. That's God's will for me. The practice in today's lesson is filled, the suggestions filled with beautiful mantras to take into the practice with us. And this lesson is also reminding us, like twice every half hour, to remember this. We're getting into the idea of repetition, 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 which I've mentioned already. It is in the repetitions that we learn. Remember, we have started out with an untrained mind. And in order to train our mind, one of the ways to do that is for frequent repetitions of a different thought to replace the ones that have been hurting us. So we are repeating multiple times throughout the day, throughout the hour, throughout the half hour. There is no will but God's, and I seek his peace today. And one of the lines in the practicing and in the main part of the lesson, time change, says that joy characterizes peace. They cannot be separate. If I am joyful, if I am happy, I am peaceful. When I am disturbed in any way, shape, or form, my joy kind of wanes, and I'm not really peaceful. So it's a good remembering. It's a good thing to have as like a virtual string around your finger. Notice when you're joyful, and notice the peace that comes with that joy. So that's it for today. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, and please be here tomorrow when maybe I'll be a little bit more awake. Okay? Namaste.